if you make money, put it back in, because if you really want to live passively, you really want to live from cash flow, you need to have a large base, you need to have a large volume, you need that as you start earning, you put it back in, put it back in, put it back in. Kasi kung tinanggal nyo, ginamit nyo, ginastos nyo, then your base becomes smaller again, then it will be harder for you to earn passively from dividends. That's how you build wealth upon wealth upon wealth upon wealth. Hey guys, so as you all know, I'm a big fan of dividend investing. I'm a big fan of cash flow because it's passive income for life. And we've been drilling down and we've been talking a lot about it. That's why I want to answer the question that was sent by Michelle Lee from London, England. So here's her question. Hi Mr. Germo, I'm an OFW from London. I do not have the time to watch the markets, but I love all of your videos about dividends. When I retire back in the Philippines, I want to earn 100,000 pesos passively from dividends. Can you give me an example on how I can get 100,000 pesos a month purely from dividends, and how much money should I prepare and save for that to happen? I'm a big fan and I'm excited to see you again when you come back here in London. Regards, Michelle Lee, London, England. That's a very, very good question, and that's the style. That's been my style also. The name of the game is, if you want passive income, you want something that you can predict, you want something that even if the markets are so bad, you still get to have passive income, the way to go is dividends. Please remember, it's not just dividends that could give it to you. You can get that also from bonds, you can also get that from fixed income savings deposits, savings accounts, and you can get that also from rental income. For those who are watching this video for the first time, dividends is basically derived from the income of the company. The higher the income of the company is, that's an excess that they don't need for expansion, for growth, or everything else in between, they return back to investors like you and me in form of dividends. That's why it's passive, because if the company is good, they can sustain their dividends for a very, very long time. So here's the thing, since I just made a video about this, talking about the top 12 dividend paying stocks, I'm gonna use the top 7 stocks that I gave there as an example. SPC, GMA7, Meralco, PLDT, Globe, REIT, and Aboitiz Power. So as you all know also, among those 7 stocks, SPC gave the highest dividend yield. But above and beyond that, I want to tell you that PLDT, Meralco, Globe, and some of them have already gone up a bit. SPC has also gone up, but by the time I'm making this video, the dividend yields of Globe and PLDT and some of those other stocks are not as high and not as attractive. We're gonna buy all 7 of those stocks. The allocations would just be different. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use them to get you dividends in perpetuity, that hopefully what you get from it is something that can give you 100,000 pesos a month. And since I mentioned that our goal is just to get dividends from it, then we're not gonna sell. We're not gonna take profits. We're not gonna be in it for capital appreciation, purely for dividends. So this basically means that you are a person who's holding on to it. As long as the dividends are good, then you're okay already just receiving the cash flow that you get from the dividend. What we're just factoring in here are just the dividends. Should you want to sell your stock later on, and because you may be holding onto it for a very long period of time, you may get a larger amount of capital appreciation as well. So it depends on what your style is. It depends on how your narrative will be on how you want to do the trade. Since we're doing something that will require some forecasting, please do note this. There could be possibilities that these assumptions could not happen, and it will be predicated on a different set of variables. Number 1, I do not know when you will retire. So that means the dividends are based on the prices that we have today, not on the prices on the time that you will retire. By the time you retire, the dividends might be different, the dividend yields might be different, and the price that you will buy it are also different. And also connected to that, number 2, the companies that give out good dividends by the time you retire may be different. So please don't memorize the stocks that I've listed here. Remember the principle behind it, which is you look for the top 7 ones at that point that you're buying that will give you the highest dividend yield. Please go back to my previous videos, or for those who read my books, look at my formula for dividend yield and how you can possibly rank them. But that's how you can do it. It doesn't just have to be 7, because the name of the game, if you're after dividends, is the yield that you will get after, not particularly just having 7 stocks. You might be asking, bakit 7? Pwede naman 1, pwede 2, pwede 3. Since you all know she needs to get 100,000 pesos, that means what you're investing is in the millions. And the higher your money is, the more diversified also you need to be. You have to remember, it's not just about getting a certain amount of money, it's also protecting yourself, hedging yourself from underlying risks that could possibly happen. So that being said, 7 is also a good number, since this is the number that has the highest dividends that we know we can predict these companies will still do well. Again, the name of the game is still diversification. You don't diversify just for the sake of diversification, but you diversify because your portfolio is already big. So first things first, let me show you the different payout schedules of these stocks that give out dividends. So looking at the table, you will see that there are months that some of those companies are not giving out dividends. Some give out once a year only, some give out on a quarterly basis, some give out twice a year. There are months like January, April, July, and October where dividends aren't given. So what does that mean? We can't really make a computation that you can get 100,000 a month on a monthly basis on a purely payout level. But for us to make this happen, look at this. January, no one's giving. February, you have Globe giving out dividends. March, you have Meralco, PLDT, A-REIT, and Aboitiz Power. April, you have none. May, you have SPC and Globe. June, you have GMA7 and A-REIT. July, you have none. August, you have Meralco, PLDT, and Globe giving you dividends. September, you have A-REIT giving you dividends. October, you have none. November, you have Globe giving you dividends, and December, you have SPC and A-REIT. So as you can see, different stocks, different months, different payouts. Even if you have 7 stocks, some of them don't give dividends on certain months. The goal now is this, that at least you get 300,000 pesos or at least more per quarter can equate to your 100,000 pesos a month. So the name of the game is January, February, March should give you 300,000. April, May, June should give you 300,000. July, August, September should give you 300,000. Then October, November, December should also give you 300,000 pesos. For that to happen, this is how many shares you need. SPC, 250,000 shares. GMA7, 120,000 shares. Meralco, 12,000 shares. PLDT, 1,900 shares. Globe, 5,500 shares. A-REIT, 13,000 shares. And AP, 22,000 shares. This is a good tweaking for me to at least have somewhere around 300 plus thousand pesos on a quarterly basis, because please remember, their dividend payouts are all different. Similar to Globe, you see that they're giving out 4 times a year. For PLDT, it's only twice a year. Kung sumobra kasi lalampas eh. So I just wanted to show you how it actually looked like if you wanted to have it on a quarterly basis. But for me, I don't look at it on a quarterly basis. I look at it more from a yearly perspective. How much do I get on a yearly perspective? Because what I get from a yearly perspective will be carried on, and that will be my expenses for the next year. Given the payouts that I showed you on the previous table, and given the number of shares that you own per stock, this is how it will look like, and this is how much money you will make on a monthly basis. Then I'll show you the quarterly computation in a bit. On a monthly basis, of course, January you get nothing. February, because Globe gave out dividends, you have 148,500 pesos. March, you have Meralco giving you 124,740,000 pesos. Then you have PLDT giving you 74,100 pesos. Then you have A-REIT giving you 36,400. Then you have AP giving you 25,960. April, none. May, you have SPC giving you 100,000 pesos and Globe giving you 136,565 pesos. June, GMA7 giving you 36,000 pesos and A-REIT giving you 40,300 pesos. July, no dividends. August, Meralco, 56,364 pesos. PLDT, 72,200 pesos. Globe, 136,565 pesos. Then September, A-REIT again, 36,400. October, none. November, you only have Globe giving you 136,565 pesos. Then December, SPC 175,000 pesos, and then A-REIT giving you 40,300. So please remember, guys, this is not the exact value because this could also change. This is just me trying to simulate it for all of you. You have to take the time to learn and study what those are. You have to take the time to learn and study what you're actually buying. So again, please do note, these are not stock picks. This does not mean that if it's here, this is something that you buy specifically and directly. You have to take the time to learn it for yourself as well. Looking at it from a quarterly basis, adding January, February, March, quarter 1, you get around 409,000 pesos. Again, pinasobra ko lang, but if you want to be very, very strict na 100,000, it could be lesser. That means you're buying lesser shares. Then quarter number 2, April, May, June, you're getting 312,865. Then quarter number 3, July, August, September, you're getting 301,000 pesos. Then October, November, December, quarter number 4, you're getting around 351,000 pesos. So it fulfills your 300,000 a quarter or 100,000 pesos a month. So the question is this, for that to happen, magkano kailangan ko labas para mangyari yan? How much do I need to buy? Again, this is based on August 27, 2020 stock prices. So please remember, the time that you buy, the prices may be different. So SPC, for 250 shares, given a stock price of 8.42 pesos, it will cost you 2.1 million. GMA 7, 120,000 shares, 5.14 pesos per share, it will cost you 616,800 pesos. For Meralco, 12,000 shares at 267 pesos per share, it will cost you 3.2 million pesos. PLDT, 1,900 shares at 1,446 pesos per share, it will cost you 2.7 million pesos. Globe, 5,500 shares at 2,134 pesos, it will cost you around 11 million pesos. A REIT, 130,000 shares at 25.75 pesos, it will cost you 3.3 million pesos. AP, 22,000 shares at 26.30 pesos per share, it will cost you 578,000 pesos. Adding everything, it will give you a grand total of 24,336,000 pesos. So that means to be able to get around 300,000 pesos a quarter or 100,000 pesos a month, you need to invest around 24,336,000 pesos to be able to get it. So you might say, is there another way para mapababa yun? SPC is giving you a larger amount of dividend yield. So that means if you put more in SPC, you could possibly just put a smaller amount of money because the yield that you will get from SPC would be relatively higher. Please do know that SPC is not really that liquid. The higher the money that you're putting there, it might be harder to get in and it might be harder also for you to get out. Putting it in one stock and you have a larger amount of money already, it might be more prudent if you would also split it and be more diversified. So this is how it would look like if you're putting everything in SPC. The dividends is at 1.1 pesos per share. The number of shares that you need for you to get at least above 1.2 million pesos, you would need around 1.2 million shares for that to happen. So if I continue further, the total earnings that you would get from SPC is 1.32 million pesos, which is already enough, which covers our 100,000 peso a month budget. So now, how much do you need to shell out? Because you're getting a stock that has a higher dividend yield, the amount of money that you would need to put in is lesser. So total cost to buy 1.2 million shares at a stock price of 8.42 pesos would only be 10.1 million pesos. So if you look at it, lesser amount, lesser round number that you would need to get as compared to 24 million pesos, whereas halo-halo na siya, mix na siya with other stocks that the dividend yields are lower. So again, I'll repeat it, you will get a higher gain, but again, it still would be prudent if you diversify and split your portfolio with other stocks that are in unrelated industries. From this video that I'm showing you, it's either you get 7 stocks at 24 million pesos to give you 100,000 pesos per month, or you just get one stock with a higher dividend yield and just shell out 10 million pesos. But the lesson here is very, very consistent to everything that I have been sharing over the past few months and the past few years of me writing books, doing seminars, and creating videos like this. The name of the game in the stock market is, it's still all about volume. Volume, 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 volume. That's why I've been urging you in all of the videos that if you make money, pile it back in. If you make money, put it back in, because if you really want to live passively, you really want to live from cash flow, you need to have a large base, you need to have a large volume, you need that as you start earning, you put it back in, put it back in, put it back in. Kasi kung tinanggal nyo, ginamit nyo, ginastos nyo, then your base becomes smaller again, then it would be harder for you to earn passively from dividends. That's how you build wealth upon wealth, upon wealth, upon wealth, because that's what passive income is. Income that you get, you put it back in, and it earns more for you, and it earns more for you, and it earns more for you. And that's why it's not sexy, but it can be done. This is not something that's glamorous, but if you're prudent, you're disciplined, and you're unscathed when markets are tumbling, you will do very, 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 very well. Passive income is possible. That if you put your money to something that will give you cash flow, it allows you to live life at your own terms, and it also allows you to live passively, repeatedly for a stretched period of time. And then that's when you get to do what you want when you want. Because for me, financial freedom is never about money. It's about living life at your own terms. It's about living what your dream is, the God-given dreams, desires, and passions that have been placed in your heart. Also, please do note this: the higher the amount of money that you need to be passive, the bigger the amount of money that you would need to invest in. Meaning, if your goal is 140,000 pesos, that means you would need to invest in more money to get that type of return. But if your number is smaller, say 50,000 pesos, 60,000 pesos, 85,000 pesos, then the round number that you need to get would be smaller. So guys, if you have any questions about this, how do you compute for your round number, how do you do retirement, how do you invest, how do you get that amount of money, put them in the comment section below. If you want a new video topic based on this as well, put them in the comment section. I'm gonna make videos like that for you guys. So there, I hope that you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this gave you enough information as possible, that it's possible to live and get 100,000 pesos a month purely from dividends, that it can be done. And it's not dependent on how good you are in trading. It's not dependent on your skill set and technical analysis. It's just you building a base, building volume, and buying stocks with high dividends. So if you got a lot from this is Marvin Germo. Appreciate it if you could press the like button. And if you're new to this, I make daily videos in both of my channels. This is my primary channel, Marvin Germo, where we have over 1,600 videos here already. But I have another channel called Stock Investing Made Easy, where we do a lot of technical analysis videos there. So if you want more of this, like, share, subscribe, and share this to more people. We want to build an army. We want to build a new generation of Filipinos investing and thriving in this new normal. If you want to study further, also, links are down in the description below for my playlist on technical fundamental analysis. You can watch them, you can binge watch on them. For those that love reading, I have 5 books, link in the description, where you can order them from Shopee, and Shopee will deliver wherever you are in the world. All of those details are in the description below. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I just really wanted to show you, inspire you that it can be done. And if you're in your 20s and in your 30s, now is the best time to actually start investing, because for you to hit that number, your biggest weapon is right now, when you are at the prime of your careers, to put in money, to double down, and not waste it on things that don't matter. Put in more. Pondohan nyo muna yung kinabukasan nyo kesa gastusin sa ibang bagay na hindi nyo masyado kailangan at di naman talaga nagpapasaya sa inyo. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo, urging you to invest right now, that this is still one of the greatest times to be alive. So trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.